trying to find a way, if there is a way, to get this Newfoundland Growlers team back into the playoffs. That has been the theme for the last little bit, was the theme of the last episode. And of course, the question that we left you guys with in terms of, hey, what do you think we should do? Here's your opportunity to give your input. Now, obviously, the main theme is, this defense probably isn't good enough to make the playoffs. And you might not be wrong. Obviously, Hugo Laflamme, our best defenseman, plus minus isn't amazing. Antoine Brassard's, though, is a lot more concerning, especially who he's playing with. I mean, Leroy and De Silva aren't exactly great either. So I think we might look to send down Brassard. In an ideal world, we'd call up a DFD to pair with Hugo to get that offensive or the overall boost, which leaves us with a few options. I mean, if we didn't want the boost, then obviously Simon Bellemare is the guy. Best guy we could boost up freaking Hugo with, I was going to say Bellemare with, would be Cade Darby in terms of overall, which, yeah, that's not great. Or we could go for the complete meme. I wish this wasn't broken, but the complete meme would be either Vincent Gosselin, who's a DFD with 94 offensive awareness, or Marshall Nguyen, the enforcer, who has 95 strength but not much else. So, for the hell of it, I do know we're going to send down Brassard. He will have to clear waivers, and he didn't. So we do lose Brassard to the New York Rangers on waivers, which sucks a lot. He really wasn't going to make it, though, so is it that major of a loss? I don't know if it is. For the hell of it, Nguyen wouldn't be a boost. OFD and Enforcer doesn't work out all that well. So, that meme won't be happening. How well does Gosselin work out? That's a +3. And for the hell of it, Darby is also a +3. So Cade Darby will likely be given the chance here. We'll send down Nguyen and Gosselin. So you could argue if it was really worth losing Brassard like we did, but at his age, we weren't really seeing the development. I mean, he was just going to end up being just another guy on this team, unfortunately. Everybody else, for the most part, is doing okay. I'm a little bit worried about Pierre Leroy, 5-on-5, but we'll see what happens here. Let's just let this defense go as it's been going. And again, defensively, we'll have to set it up in the AHL as well. Gosselin's back in. Nguyen is in. And now with that change, I think we're likely to get Bellemare back in on that defense. And of course, there's an extra attacker in a shootout slot that doesn't autofill for some reason, because this game can be stupid sometimes. Absolutely stupid, but there we go. And then for the actual defense, so the big question is Leroy and Silva. Now, Leroy, that is another OFD-DFD match. If we were to swap, call him whatever the hell you want, Wallet, Ule, whatever, you know who the hell I'm talking about. If we were to swap he and De Silva, we'd still leave, with that +3 on the second pairing. So that's going to be the quick change there. That'll be the defense for the next month or so. Chris Penner's not the guy. It's pretty obvious. Morgan's the guy here. Morgan's the dude for us. I mean, we have struggled consistently to find our goaltenders. We've sent all 4 of these guys down through waivers, as insane as that is. I still have some hope for Papineau, but I'm not holding my breath. I mean, Papineau will be called up if Morgan struggles here, but for the moment, we'll turn to Nick Ruscia, who has been a constant in this organization basically throughout the entire series. And then we look at the forwards. Again, there are some 5-on-5 numbers that are a little bit concerning, but nothing that's overly drastic. The fourth line, you can say, hey, Aiden Hannon, 9 goals. Should he really be down on the fourth line? But of course, he has power play time. I'm content to leave the forwards as they are. I wanted to make that change to the defense, make that change to the goaltending. We've nearly hit the halfway point of the season. I know we're in a playoff spot, so of course people will be like, well, of course you changed things. But the only thing that we changed was taking 2 clear weak points on defense and in goal and address them. Did we adjust them for the better? I mean, technically, Darby replacing Brassard was for the better. And we go through January with a pretty hit or miss record now at 21, 24, and 4. Currently 4 points outside of a playoff spot. The only reason we're even close is because the Atlantic Division is quite weak. So, goaltending-wise, Morgan down to an 892. Russia, the goaltending... Is it the defense? Is the goaltending? Is it the chicken or the egg? Cade Darby's been amazing next to Hugo. Pierre Leroy is very, very similar to Sean Bates, where it's not happening for him. I don't get what it is. De Silva and Deschamps. Jacob De Silva's been awful this season. Let's just call a spade here. So I think De Silva is going to be sent down. And I don't know what the hell we're going to do with Pierre Leroy. But, De Silva is going to be sent down. Let's give the opportunity. It either goes to Gosselin or we call up Belmar and Sauve. And I think that's what I'm probably going to do. Again, De Silva's been terrible. Darby's been fine. Wallet Ule, whatever, has been fine. Louis Deschamps hasn't been that great, though. He hasn't been horrible, but I think if we send down Silva and Deschamps, call up Belmar and Sauve, nobody was claimed on waivers there, that we will be okay. Because that way we can get the two ways on the same line. Although apparently that's going to result in a minus. Oh boy. Sending Leroy down works, though. There we go. Honestly, Leroy, Ule there, Sauve, Belmar, Darby, Laflamme. It's not amazing. It doesn't give us the best line chemistry, but we got to do what we got to do. And goaltending-wise, screw it. Let's go with the highest-rated dudes again. Oh, my God. Just desperately trying to find the right combination of players that can see us win. Like, in every league. Like, Elliot Cousineau in the AHL has at least been good. He's been amazing, actually. 884 was brutal. He has a 937 in 9 games. Sylvain Guite has yet to play in the AHL. Chris Penner has neither. And then Papineau is definitely not ready for prime time. So, well, actually, we don't know that. Cousineau and Papineau, they're going to be the call-ups. Morgan and Russia are going down. Neither was claimed. Let's go with these two. Cousineau, playing really well as of late in the AHL. Maybe that's the right combination. Morgan will be one of the starting goaltenders or a part of the tandem. Let's give it to Guite, I suppose, and he can fill in a spot there. Didn't plan on having to make change after change after change, but here we are, desperately trying to find a way to get this team to catch fire, make their way into the playoffs. And like I've said before, you make it into the playoffs, you have a chance. We've seen crazier things with worse teams. All we have to do is make it and we have a shot. But can we make it? Can we find that right combination of players to get us to the old promised land? So looking at the points here, 5-on-5, Rayom's starting to be a problem. Boucher's been all right. I don't necessarily like Rayom and LaRue 5-on-5 together. I don't necessarily like Cogliano there. And then Hannon only had 4 points that month, 2 goals, 2 assists. So you could drop the line chemistry if you wanted to. Cogliano's a playmaker, so technically, you'd have to drop LaRue down, which is pretty scary. Of course, I still want to have as good a line chemistry as I possibly could. Not that I want to drop Rayom to the 4th line here. If I did, there's no one who's necessarily amazing for that top line. It would have to be Rayom for Duchesne, which is kind of scary if we wanted to keep really good line chemistry. I don't know if there's anybody here on the second line that has really good top line chem. Corazzini kind of does. In fairness, it could be Corazzini that gets the bump. So Corazzini, LaRue, Boucher, and then Duchesne with Rayom and Hines. Rayom would play center. He's not the best center in the world. Maybe go with that. And then again, I am not overly optimistic in Cogliano being where he is, but we could easily keep that boost on that third line. We'll go with Hannon, Orr, and LaPierre. Cogliano with Huckins and Duchesne. So a couple of changes there to the forwards, some changes on the defensive side as well. Let's see what happens this month. Can we get more of a winning record going? If we struggle here, we are likely not going to be able to crawl our way back towards the playoffs. But there you go. We're stringing some wins together more consistently now. Might we have found the right combo? I think we lost to Edmonton, but that was a pretty good run for the most part. It was a pretty good run. 28, 30, and 5. 5 points out of a playoff spot. That was probably the most consistent play we've seen from this team, though. Elliot Cousineau still hasn't been great. Bernard Papineau, though, upon being called up, has been phenomenal at the NHL level, despite being meh at the AHL level. Laflemme and Darby had a bit of a rough month. Sauvé and Bellemare and saw Pierre Leroy. I have to take... what do we do with this guy? Like, he puts up points, but defensively, he is a tire fire. What the hell do we do? He gets a +5 with Cade Darby, but in no way is that worth it. I don't know what to do with him. Like, I've tried sheltering him. Honestly, can I double shift Hugo? Let me double shift Hugo Laflemme. And that means Pierre Leroy only plays special teams. I am seriously going to try this. We are going to double shift Hugo Laflemme. I'm probably going to drop Raphael Oulet here and call up our highest rated defenseman on that third pairing to see if that works. We're going to double shift Hugo. And maybe that's what I should have done with Sean Bates, but I cannot trust Pierre Leroy 5-on-5. I can't do it. He has been miserable. So we have Sim and Camachi. Sim has played this season and been fantastic in the AHL. We're going to give him an opportunity here on that third pairing with Hugo. And we're just going to see what the hell happens. Or not, because Sim would technically be a minus player. So, hate to tell you, Sim. Well, actually. So we could do Laflemme and Sim, Darby, and Laflemme. Works for me. Let's give it a shot. What do we got to lose? We'll double shift Hugo Laflemme out of pure necessity because we can't trust our second highest rated defenseman to not absolutely suck. That's the situation we find ourselves in. It is incredible, isn't it? We'll give it a shot. Trust the best players, right? Oh, shit. Let's just get Boumedienne in there. And then for the forwards, I mean, Corazzini, yeah, man, LaRue, Boucher, that's not working. From a defensive standpoint right now, honestly, I'm going to look at plus minus who is struggling 5-on-5 defensively. That's my big concern. That is my big concern, and the problem is it's the majority of the team. It is the vast majority of the team. We have 2 players that have their heads above water. Jesus. So clearly the line chem isn't working. It's just not. So if we sort this by overall right now, and then adjust it from there, we still have some decent chem across the board. Obviously, Cracknell and Mauricio Moses are pretty much good to go to be given an opportunity if we need to call upon them. But like the point totals that we're seeing here on the fourth line are decent. I don't hate what we're seeing there in terms of point totals. It's just defensively, it's like, can I trust this team to actually not just be absolutely horrific? I don't know if I can. Let's go with that setup right there. Let's try it. Now look, again, I know we're winning. I made changes. But you can't deny that the changes are, in theory, for the best. We get our highest rated forwards onto the highest lines. We take out someone defensively who has been trash, except on special teams, in terms of point production. And now we've lost 4 straight to start the month. Is that for me making changes, or was that bound to happen anyway? You decide. I'm sure you already have. But then all of a sudden we won 6 games in a row. We're right there. God, we're right there. Oh my God. 7 games left, tied on 75 points. We can totally do it. We can totally make the playoffs. Oh, this team just has to win. Please. Oh, don't break my heart again. Elliot Cousineau has sucked. Oh, he's been terrible. 880. Bernard Papineau, it is your time to shine, son. It is your time to shine. We are going to see if you can carry us to the promised land. Morgan only has a 907 in the AHL. Geet rocking an 890, for God's sake. So, probably go with Cousineau and Penner for our AHL goaltending. Bernard Papineau is going to get the chance. He is going to get the opportunity to lead this team to the playoffs. Can he make himself a hero? 23-year-old, 6-foot goaltender, former third-round pick, Bernie Papineau. Can he get the job done? Darby's looking good. Laflemme, 5-on-5, is looking a little bit more hit or miss. Sauve and Belmar haven't done that well together, so let's break them up. We'll go Laflemme, Sauve, Sim, Belmar. And you could argue trying to get Leroy back in there. I mean, he has 50 points in 75 games. He's a flippin' minus 18. Yeah, look at the giveaway to takeaway ratio. It's abysmal. We're going to stick with that. I think we're going to stick with it. I know the power play might not have the most ideal options there. I left it off of best lines. LaRue, Hayden Hannon. These players continue. Oh, man, that third. Jeez, you look at the plus-minus numbers. It's a miracle that we're even here. Like, we live and die off of special teams because 5-on-5, we are trash. And it has to be, in part, due to the subpar goaltending, right? Let's make this change. Laflemme, Darby, Sim, Belmar, Sauve, Leroy. Or better yet, yeah, well, we got to make that change. So yeah, better yet, let's go with that setup there. Sauve, Sim, Belmar, Leroy. I mean, if we can't get the job done here with Pierre Leroy, I mean, Jesus, I might as well just drop him for $9.5 million. Like, I know he puts up points, but the amount of points he gives right back defensively. We're just going to stick with it. The best overall players in the best spots. If they can't get it done, they can't get it done. Even defensively. It's so tough because I'm trying to balance, like, okay, best overall players in the best spots versus who we know has done well this season and who hasn't. We played the 51-win Sharks, who have won 9 out of their last 10, and we win 6-3. We jump the Panthers in the standings. Pittsburgh's next. 40-win Penguins. We've won 8, make that 9 out of our last 10. Come on. Detroit's on a really good run here, too. We are safe at the moment. Can we beat Detroit? Yes, we can. We have won 9 of our last 10 still. We have a 1-point lead on Florida, 2 on Buffalo with a game at hand. We play the Coyotes, struggling team. We win again. We've won at least 10 in a row. The Bruins, who have run away with this division. They are 20 points ahead of us. We beat them too. The Newfoundland Growlers are going back to the playoffs. Another win. We finished the season with a loss against St. Louis, but one of the most incredible runs you will ever see to make the playoffs. Oh my God. From March 11th to April 10th, we lost just 2 games. 41, 36, and 5. It might have been because of a terrible division, but we have made the playoffs. I look at this team and I just want to pull my hair out, at least what's left of it, because there are so many areas of concern. I mean, look at that. Montreal didn't even make it despite one of the better offenses. Like, our offense is mid-table towards the bottom at a 3.1. Goals against average is the second highest amongst playoff teams. We have a poor offense, we have a bad defense, but we still made it. 20% power play, mid-table. Penalty kill is one of the worst. We have no business being a playoff team. We have a piss-poor offense, a horrible defense, an average power play, and a garbage penalty kill. Yet we've still made it. It is a miracle that this team just made the playoffs. And the problem is that I could sit here and say, like, well, let's take out the players who aren't exactly getting it done. That would be the majority of our players. It really would be. So now the big question is, what the hell do we do with the lines? Do we just leave it? Probably. Probably just leave it as it was. And then make that question. I mean, Bernard Papineau is clearly our starter with a .907 save percentage. These are the best we've had all season. You know, we've tried best line chemistry. We've tried best overall players in those, primary positions. It's just a matter of deciding what the best option is for us to somehow pull this off. We've talked about it before. What might have been, and save percentages were down across the league. But we've talked about it before. What are our best, what represents our best chance to make it? And if you do make the playoffs, is it your final chance? This could very well be our final chance, because we had, again, no business making the playoffs. And now we take on the Florida Panthers. It's cats versus dogs in the first round. What the hell do we do with this lineup? And can we somehow make a miracle run towards the end of this series?